Hello, today we're looking at another Hellq commander, Uro Titan of Nature's Wrath, something I've never actually done before, believe it or not. Unless I've missed it, but I looked at my historic videos and couldn't see it. So Uro is a pretty classic card by now, whenever it comes in or attacks. Game 3, draw a card, you put a land into play, then you escape it from the graveyard. So you kind of want to leave it in your graveyard when you first cast it. The idea of these types of decks is to essentially self-mill and keep stuff in your graveyard as much as possible to let Uro come out. There's a few cheats and ways we can abuse Uro to make it even more effective than normal. You've got the regular stuff like Panamonica and Roaming Throne, Mirror Room, which doubles triggered abilities of permanents you control entering. A contradiction to this is we also have a copy of Torpor, but that's to stop the ETBs. Now, that might seem a bit counterintuitive, but the opponents we'll be facing, Golos, Rusko, a lot of opponents have really powerful ETB. So although it stops them, if you actually have Torpor Orb and Uro out, Uro doesn't sacrifice itself when it first comes in. It's kind of nifty, but then you don't have the other triggers. Now here's the gambit. Opponents will try their utmost to get rid of Torpor Orb. If someone's got an Atali and they can't get any ETBs off Atali, their deck is really it's a huge dud. So if they don't kill Torpor Orb, then they can't do anything. If they do, then our double ETB stuff still happens. So that's really cool. Ult of Dementia is probably the best card in the deck because when you play Uro, it sacrifices itself. But if you hold priority, you can actually sacrifice Uro to mill yourself 6. And then with those milled cards, you can then cast Uro out again. So that keeps the loop going over and over again. There's lots of really nice synergies like this. Kiora, whenever Uro comes in, lets you draw an additional card, and she can untap stuff, which is really nice. You got the usual kind of counterspell contingent, Stifle, Mana Drain, counterspell, copy of Utter Significance, kind of just removal to help you slow down your opponent, and everything is geared toward either landfall or just filling your graveyard. Like Malcolm is pretty good. Kiora draws and discards. Upper and Oculus cares about cards in your graveyard being there. 6 lets you cast stuff from the graveyard over and over again. Got a copy of the Nadu as well because it's a really powerful card. And yeah, I think powerful deck lovers, you'll like this one. Let's see how it goes. Don't forget to like and subscribe. It really helps the channel. If anything, just like the channel. I mean, it's completely free. If you want to donate to the channel, check out my description box below. You can become a Ko-fi donator, one-off, or a Patreon donator, and you can donate monthly to support the cause. Thank you very much. Let's get into the gameplay. All right, opponent does get to go first, annoyingly, but we do have the Arboreal Grazer, Blade of Cultivation kind of combo that I really do like to see. That's a hell of a lot of mana by turn 2. It is a 2-card combo. It's not even a combo, it's just a synergy, but my goodness. It gets you so much mana out. 3 mana on turn 1. And we get some blue sources as well. Wow, and then cultivate next turn if we need to. Dark Ritual. Looks like they're doing exactly the same thing here. Half Fortune End Boss. Yikes. Reveal this. So we do Cure on tap. No, I think we just go for Cultivate. Alright, well, it looks like they've got a pretty decent start as well, actually. So we've got 5 mana on turn 3. And then next turn we could go for Kiora plus Uro or something like that. So this guy basically does, what is it, extra damage. If source you control would deal damage to an opponent or permanent, deals that damage at +1. Ugh, okay. How am I going to get rid of all this stuff? And they're just... Ugh. Right, I think we have to start exiling stuff now. For Rustic Study. Kiora, they've got so much stuff. Let's go for Rustic first. I feel like we're on a massive clock here. And yeah, their Dark Ritual was a humongous effect. And yeah, Start Your Engines is still there, even though you get rid of the guy that started the engine in the first place. 2, 3, bloody hell. So she's got 7 loyalties, so she'll buy us a little bit of time, but my goodness, we are running out of time. Put that there. Decline. I think we untap something. Play the Cobra, which probably dies to some removal, but Bone Crusher Giant. Okay, well, we get to draw a card, I suppose. Oh, no, this is not good. Nardu. 4 toughness on that is kind of cool. Do they even care about Kiora, though? I feel like we're in a lot of trouble now. 6 cards in the graveyard. Maybe the Abhorrent Oculus would actually be better at this point because it gives us more blockers. Uro gets us life. 3, 4. So they have to dedicate pretty much a whole turn of attackers just to take out the Kiora. So she bought us a turn. She was a fog. And now they've got to start their engines. But they've got no start their engine abilities, I guess. Don't push a giant. We're in quite a bit of trouble, I believe. Let's go for Uro first, because that gives us a bit of life. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. We'll work on the Abhorrent Oculus after. Okay, fetch land is decent. And I'm actually going to put the Ult of Dementia on the field as well, because that is going to be... Oh? Nardu and Uro together working was enough. Man, that felt pretty tight there. I feel like they would have had... So I guess they didn't have the removal, but they did have something that was going to be a 5/5 with First Strike, which is quite the attacker. If they had any kind of small damage effect there, that would have meant she could get through either of our blockers. But, ooh, that was getting intense. We go first against Narset. If she lands and hits us, we're likely dead. It's funny to think that... I saw an article the other day that basically said, by Wizards of the Coast, they said this format is casual. I don't think they play the games they create somehow. Right, let's get a blue source here. We can get Ren and Realm Breaker. That's going to be good. It's a pretty good start. We also have Commandeer, which is kind of insane. Mill 3, put a permanent from them into your hand. Land. Oh, Abhorrent Oculus. That's gotta be the one we choose here. Especially because if we mill ourselves quite a lot. Lands, don't have any colour. Okay. Also got the Commandeer in case anything goes wrong. That's a shame. But I'd rather save the Commandeer for something else, to be honest. Flare of Cultivation. That is kind of awesome. Again, works super well with the Arboreal Grazer. Kind of lucky that we're getting that again, isn't it? Play the green. Fill the graveyard. Let's go for Oko. Fill the yard even more. We'll make an Elk first, actually. Copy of target creature you control until the turn. No, let's not do that. That's quite a strange ability, isn't it? In combat, Oko becomes a copy of up to 1 target creature you control. So your Elks become clones of other good creatures you have. That's kind of interesting. But yeah, drawing, discarding is going to be wonderful with the Abhorrent Oculus. We can even spark double, good double Oko if we really want to. House Meld. Yeah, let's go for the Abhorrent Oculus. I think that's kind of good. 1, 2, 3, 4, 6. That's going to be a lot of pressure for our opponent. Absolutely love this card. It's so good. Let's draw. Fill the yard up for Uro. Discard 2 cards. Well, House Meld can't target Narset anyway. And I kind of just want the land. I know that sounds a bit weird. Primeval Titan. Okay. That's crazy. Leave him in the graveyard. Oh my god. So you can have up to 1 creature. The beginning of combat on your turn, Oko becomes a copy of up to 1 tokens you control except for assets. Oh, I read that wrong. That is actually
You'll never guess what
That is
happens next.
freaking crazy. So next turn, if we play Primeval Titan, we can have Oko become a copy of the Prime Titan. Maybe this is a good card. I never realised how awesome that could be with attack triggers and stuff, but maybe my mind can be changed here. So they're going to get Narset next turn with 5 mana. Emergent Sequence. Hexproof. Let's see if we can resolve this. Brainstorm. Don't scare me like that. Don't do things like that. Why do that in response? So that's... I guess maybe we could find a 1-mana counter on top. Oh, they are so screwed, aren't they? Go for a tap land. Go for Fable Passage. Not exciting, but... And I don't want to play too many creatures just in case
I'm taking the lead.
they have a board wipe. So here we go. 2 Prime Titans attacks in 1 turn. That is... What? Yeah, that is wild. 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16. That was Xaxes. So, Oko's always been good, I guess. That's pretty awesome. So it looks like we're going to have 2 self-mill decks facing off against each other. Should be a pretty interesting matchup. Birds of Paradise, I think that's not too bad. It helps us ramp just a little bit. They're definitely going to go for the Emery next turn. We do have a Stifle. Not sure if we want to do that or not. Stifle will stop them from milling, which means they're gonna have less options in the graveyard, and this is 4 mana to get in the graveyard anyway. So I think we will just Stifle this. And Emery with nothing in the graveyard is really not scary, to be honest. Got 4 mana. I think we'll just go for the Palantir first. Try and resolve that. The Soul Guard Lantern is actually going to be a humongous problem here, because they can just use it to exile stuff from our graveyard. So that is really something we did not want to see, to be honest. Yeah, that is annoying. Sacrifice this artifact, exile each opponent's graveyard. And they can basically do that for free. It's 0 mana to do that. Yes. How are we going to deal with this then? If this goes away, we have a small window to do stuff. Interesting, to say the least. So we play Uro, comes in, it draws the card, plays 3, then it goes to the graveyard, and then they'll just make us exile it, and they can replay it again every turn. So that's definitely not what we want to do, isn't it? That is definitely not what we want to do. Okay, I think they kind of have us in a tricky situation now. We are just going to have to lean on the Palantir. More cards I don't really want. Ramp and fight. If I kill the Emery, it just comes back anyway. Oh my goodness, that just did 7 damage to them. River's Rebuke would have been pretty good there, but it did deal 6 to them, so I can't really complain too much. They are ramping big, so they could potentially have a massive Eldrazi or some big robot come in, which is likely. That's a 5/5. Oh boy. I might want to slow him down a bit and bounce that. I know it seems a bit futile, given how much extra mana they've got and stuff, but... Fading Hope. I don't know what to do. This is actually quite annoying. Soul Guide Lantern. Maybe we just play Uro, force them to use this. Or maybe we wait for a turn where we can do lots of stuff in one go. Yeah, I don't really want to waste it there. I mean, I can just get one use out of it. Of course, I could definitely do that. I'm not getting very exciting cards on top of the Palantir. Did another 6, I guess. That's cool. I wonder when they're gonna get scared and use a Soul Guide Lantern. No idea. That's a lot of cards in our graveyard that we could use for Uro, but they... Oh. Khan's Silex. Players can't pay life to cast spells or active abilities. Exile, destroy each non-permanent with mana value X or less. I'm surprised that's in their deck. That's going to destroy a lot of their things. Do they have a way to move this? I'm not sure. It's a strange game. It's like a weird stalemate. I mean, we are dealing damage with the Palantir, but I don't know. Land is definitely not what we want to see there. And to 9. You know what? I think I'm just going to try and get one use out of it. I just kind of need some. I just need something. And if they use the Soul Guide Lantern, then oh, Rishkar's Expertise. That would be so good. We get priority though, so we actually. That's interesting. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So they didn't actually get to respond to that? What happened that... So I... So now they sacrifice it in response to Uro coming out. That seems kind of unusual, doesn't it? What happened there? I don't know. And then we get to refill our graveyard with Palantir again, so... I cannot complain. Surely they'd give us the card now. Being at 9 life, they can't really afford to give us... take more damage. Okay, Nissa. So we're looking to be dealing quite a lot of damage next turn. Sacrificing. Sense of getting a little bit desperate. I'm feeling maybe the Khan Silex is going to maybe blow up in this turn, because 3 mana... 1 mana, 3 mana, 3 mana. But it will kill Emery... and the Net Assist. I'm not really sure. I don't really trust. You know, if they just drop a Paradox Engine, what happens to us then? I think a Paradox Engine would make it very, very awkward. Yeah, everything goes away. So leave him in the graveyard again. So it shouldn't be too much longer before we can get some more things going there. Scry 2. And Emery only costs 2, which is kind of ludicrous, really, but now it only costs 1. And they can keep... What, anything scary in there? Nothing massively scary, but...
We will not fail.
Forest. That's a forest, isn't it? Yeah, we can do that. And have it fight the Emery as well, which is kind of cool. We can also go for Spark Double, so we get 2 Nisses, which is interesting. They've got mana open for Springleaf Drum. I've never had 2 Nisses before. That's kind of crazy. So we're going to have this creature fight the Emery. Nice. And these are lands, so something like River's Rebuke doesn't really do too much. But yeah, 2 Nisses is kind of insane. Tap a Forest Man, add an additional green. So a Forest tap for 3 greens. Extra turn, okay. Field of Ruin destroys our land. Fair enough. So we just want to get another forest, don't we? That's kind of cool. And they've already got 1 card in the hand and an Emery, which we can probably bounce in the end step. What artifacts have they got? Obelisk is annoying because that would be able to kill one of our Nisses. That's the only scary thing though, really. And they don't have haste, which means that they won't be able to hopefully play that and something else in the graveyard next turn. Let's see what they can do. We can make 2 3/3s on our next turn as well with the Nisses. So they're going to need something good. And they're at 6. Okay, so that's Paradox Engine. Well, we could be in a hell of a lot of trouble now. They play that, which untaps their rocks. Yeah, could be game over, I think. Memory. So they can draw 7 here. If they get any extra turns, we're in a hell of a lot of trouble. But they don't have anything else in the graveyard. Command zone, I guess. Oh, that's a real shame. Shuffling our Uro. And they didn't get anything that good, which is annoying. Mox Amber. So they're looking for like a draw engine, I suppose, now, but or Midnight Clock. They could easily draw them 7 more. 14 mana. How scared should I be? Yeah, this is what I was saying. Paradox Engine is enough to just come out of nowhere and win, which is, I think, what we're about to witness here. Ah. Narset helps them draw even more spells. And that lets them play stuff off the top of the deck. And they've got 30 mana. Mindslaver. Okay, we lose. So if you guys don't know, Mindslaver is basically pay 4, they gain control of our next turn, and because of Emery, they can play Mindslaver from the graveyard and do it every turn. So yeah, it's called the Mindslaver lock, and we've just lost the game. That's Hellq for you. Alright, so we're facing Death Touch with Finn the Fangbearer. Death Touch translates to poison. Now, if everything's going to have Death Touch, then our fight mechanics aren't going to be that good. So I think I'm just going to search for a land. I know it's not very glamorous, but I kind of just want to ensure we can hit all the lands, because that's something that I feel as though 40 lands in this format still doesn't even give you. Algorithm tends to be weirdly greedier these days. Oh, okay. Cobra's pretty lovely as well. So that's going to override our previous plan of Bristling Bill. Or Bristly Bill, should I say. Bristling, it's funny, the English language. Bristly would mean spiky and bristling would mean shiny, but they sound very similar. What if... What if we went for... Bristly Bill... and Ultra Dementia. Yeah, okay. See where this leads us. It's tempting to go Spark Double Bristly Bill or something like that, or Spark Double Lotus Cobra. It's not, it's okay, I guess. I think what we want to do the most is get the Uro out, sacrifice it to itself with this Ult of Dementia, and then play from the graveyard. At least it can block Death Touch every few turns a bit easier. Well, Spark Double doesn't actually work very well, Uro, does it? Because if it comes in and it wasn't escaped... Sacrifice it unless it escaped. Yeah, okay. It fights up to 1 creature you don't control. Well, I might as well just... If it's going to die anyway, sacrifice the Cobra. And it gets +2/+2. Okay. 3 mana fight spell. But it is a land on the other side. Fair enough. And we get some poison. So it begins. The poison begins. Poison Borrow, that's going to be really good. Counter goes on here. Let's get to full control. Play the Uro. Use the Dementia on me. Sacrifice the Uro. I mean, to be honest, you probably don't even have to go full control for that. But I like to do it just in case. Oh my goodness, some really powerful cards in there. And a land comes into play. That's actually really quite nice. Because it means we can... we can protect the bill or we can bounce their guy. Cool. And then we've also got 11 cards in the graveyard, which is really great for Uro. We can get him out a couple of times. Spark double on Bristly Bill would be interesting. Bushwhack. Search your library for a basic. Interesting. He didn't want to just kill the Bristly Bill. Didn't want to kill Bill there. Okay, that's a bit suspicious. What is going on? Look at a ninjutsu. What happens if that hits me? Exile, artifact, or enchantment. I don't like that very much. So I'd rather that didn't happen, to be perfectly honest. And here comes Anglebiter, which is annoying because it means that we now can't attack very nicely. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. But I guess I'm willing to maybe sacrifice to Uro just because he can come back again. You know what? Let's just trade. The whole game is going to be Death Touch, right? The entire game is going to be Death Touch, left, right, and center. Okay. Fine. They didn't want to trade. I gave them the option. If they die to this, so be it. It's on them. And now the Halfling can even block the Anklebiter if necessary. Yeah, that's the thing. When you know the archetype you're facing, sometimes you just have to kind of give something up. Like, Bristly Bill's a really wonderful card, obviously. But if it means we can try and get through... Okay, so now they fight it. Oh, but they wanted to give that indestructible. Okay. Sure thing. Here comes Finn. So it's indestructible. It's going to be annoying. I might actually still just chomp it here. Or not. No, that's silly. We need the mana. But then they're going to ninjutsu in that thing now, aren't they? Okay, fine. They're kind of desperate to exile this, aren't they? So be it. They lose the Death Touch, though. So now this is just a regular 1-3. Fine. Fine, fine, fine. And we get Primeval Titan, which is kind of awesome as well. I think we're just going to Raven form this. Every time we kill Finn, it really, really cripples them because it costs so much more each time. 4 mana is just not as attractive. They don't have any Death Touch on the field currently. We target activate or triggered. We can even copy the Uro ability, which is like or we could just copy the Primeval Titan. Either way, Spark Double with Primeval Titan is really quite excellent. Let's see what happens here then. I'm still concerned because every small 1/1 they have is big and yeah, technically big enough to kill any of our things. The only solace we have is that Uro is constantly, you know, he's constantly there to be able to be abused in the graveyard. I've seen a lot of people when they play Uro, they just put it back to command zone, which I do find very unusual. Considering that it's 2 more each time, it's not really worth it unless you've got nothing in graveyard, I don't think. And we get poison as well. That's a nasty one. So it's just fight and Death Touch, which makes sense. We've got Tamio safekeeping. Let's go full control, I think. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So trigger is going to go off. We're going to use Virtue. On that. Another land. That's pretty good. Another land. Also, cannot complain. Cool. So next turn, so 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Yeah, we can get Primeval Titan plus Spark Double. Evolution Sage. Land enters Proliferate. Well, that is terrifying. So they have another way to kill us now. Jeez. We are running out of time. Well. Oh my goodness. It's crazy how such a low bearing deck like this with like really small drops is able to just push through all this damage. One flyer, I just don't care. And a bloated Contaminator. And another fetch land. Okay. Okay. Well, I think we are in a hell of a lot of danger now. Because they have... How many death touches do they have? 1, 2, 3. So basically we need loads and loads of blockers. What? Why did they quit there? I'm actually genuinely confused. View battlefield. Right, this is the reason I'm confused. So we only... They don't know what's in our hand. Right, so take this with a pinch of salt. They don't know what's in our hand. We have 4 creatures. They have a Death Toucher here. If this hits Toxic 2, if this hits Trample, Toxic, Damage, Proliferate, if they play a land or any fetch land, Proliferate 2, so it'd be at 6, 7, they wouldn't need that much more to get through our field. We can only block with 1, 2, 3 creatures on the floor. And yes, we would have had an extra Primeval Titan. I completely understand here. But they didn't know that. And I think I would have just waited for them to see, maybe just draw one more card before quitting. I feel like it would have been really close because every poison, every bloody hell, every Death Toucher that hits us gives them 2 poisons. So it was only 2 attacks in a way or 4 proliferates with a fetch land. That's 2 to 3 proliferates. I don't know. Their next card could have been something awesome. Even a Fight Spell would have taken care of one of these. But yeah, our life didn't really matter, to be honest. So just because we had 32, it's meaningless when the deck cares about poison. Oh well. Feel lucky to win that. Did you know that you can help my channel by watching another one of my videos? Go ahead, you know you want to.